Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Peace process to restart as Hamas delegation to hold ceasefire talks in Cairo. Hezbollah pledges to implement truce with Israel. Rebel forces in Syria enter Aleppo in surprise offensive. Army closes all highways into the city as troops withdraw. India urges Bangladeshi authorities to ensure safety and security of minority communities. And in sports, Game 5 of India's Gukesh versus reigning champion Doordarshan to take place today. Game tied at 2-2 after 4 rounds. Our top story: peace process in the Middle East set to resume today as a Hamas delegation will arrive in Cairo to Saturday for talks with Egyptian officials on a possible ceasefire in Gaza. The visit comes days after the United States said it would begin new efforts with Qatar, Egypt and Turkey to revive Gaza ceasefire talks. The United States has also announced a new diplomatic effort with Qatar, Turkey and Egypt to reach a Gaza ceasefire and the release of hostages taken during Hamas's October 7, 2023 attacks on Israel that set off the current fighting. The only ceasefire so far in November 2023 saw the release of about 100 hostages by Hamas and its allies in exchange for 240 Palestinian prisoners held by Israel. The announcement came 2 days after a ceasefire went into effect between Israel and the Lebanese group Hezbollah. And the head of Hezbollah, Naim Qassem, pledged on Friday to coordinate closely with the Lebanese army to implement a ceasefire deal with Israel. In his first televised address since the ceasefire came into effect, Qassem said Hezbollah had approved the deal with the resistance strong in the battlefield and our heads held high with our right to defend ourselves, unquote. The ceasefire stipulates that Hezbollah will withdraw from areas south of the Litani River and the Lebanese army will deploy troops there as Israeli ground troops withdraw. And jihadist groups along with their Turkish-backed allies launched a rapid offensive and reached Aleppo, Syria's second largest city, on Friday. The Syrian army closed major roads in and out of Aleppo, issuing safe withdrawal orders to troops in certain neighborhoods. Checkpoints around the city were instructed to allow only military personnel to enter or exit, effectively sealing off Aleppo. Syrian authorities also closed Aleppo airport and cancelled all flights on Saturday as rebels opposed to President Bashar al-Assad are moving forward to take control of the city. By Friday, opposition fighters led by the Islamist militant group Hayat Tahrir al-Sham launched a surprise offensive and captured over 50 towns and villages in northern Syria. Russia, a key ally of Assad, has pledged additional military aid to help repel the rebels, with new equipment expected to arrive within the next 72 hours. The rebels are returning to the city for the first time since 2016. And Ukrainian Foreign Minister Andrei Sybiha has called on NATO members to extend an invitation to Ukraine to join the military alliance during a meeting in Brussels next week. The letter reflects Ukraine's renewed push to secure an invitation to join NATO, which is part of a victory plan outlined last month by Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky to end the conflict. In an interview with UK-based news channel, Zelensky said offering Ukraine NATO membership while allowing Russia to retain some captured territory for now could be a potential solution. Ukraine further said it accepts that it cannot join the alliance until the war is over, but extending an invitation would show that no one can prevent Kiev from becoming a NATO member. Now, French President Emmanuel Macron reaffirmed his support for Ukraine in a phone call with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Friday. Macron reiterated his condemnation of an escalation in Russia-Ukraine conflict. While Zelensky mentioned that he had a productive telephone conversation with Macron, he also thanked him for France's readiness to help with generally strengthening Ukraine's air defense capabilities and for general support and speeding up the transfer of Mirage aircraft. An explosion on Friday evening damaged a canal in northern Kosovo, supplying water to two coal-fired power plants that generate nearly all of the country's electricity. According to Kosovo Interior Minister, the explosion was a terrorist act and that part of the canal was damaged. There were no immediate reports of injuries and the cause of the blast was not clear, Minister added. Earlier, Kosovo police announced increased security measures after two recent attacks where hand grenades were hurled at a police station and municipality building in northern Kosovo where ethnic Serbians live. Britain's parliament voted in favour of a new bill to legalise assisted dying on Friday. After a passionate debate in the House of Commons, the lower house of Parliament, 330 lawmakers voted in favour of the terminally ill adults bill with 275 against. Under the bill, mentally competent terminally ill adults in England and Wales who are assessed by doctors to have 6 months or less left to live without be allowed the right to choose to end their lives with medical help. Campaign group Dignity in Dying hailed the result as a historic step towards greater choice and protection for dying people, but Christian Concern called it a very Black Friday for the vulnerable in this country. Ireland votes in closely fought general election on Friday as an exit poll showed the three main parties nearly deadlocked ahead of the start of the official count. Voters chose a new 174-seat lower chamber of parliament that dealt with the housing crisis dominating the campaign. According to one exit poll, the pro-Irish Unity Sinn Féin party had 21.1% of the vote, neck and neck with the centre-right Fine Gael led by outgoing Prime Minister Simon Harris on 21%. Counting will start Saturday with partial results expected through the day. A final result, however, may take days as Ireland's proportional representation system sees votes of eliminated candidates redistributed during multiple rounds of counting. Now, Georgian police fired water cannon on demonstrators as thousands take to the streets for a second day to protest the government after Georgia's ruling party said it was halting EU accession talks until 2028. European Union accession is overwhelmingly popular in Georgia, according to opinion polls, and the move saw thousands mass outside the parliament building in Tbilisi, dispersed by riot police using water cannon and gas. The freezing of application talks has been met with widespread anger in Georgia, which has the aim of EU membership written into its constitution. Protesters carrying Georgian and EU flags pressed towards the Soviet-built fortress-like parliament building and hurled fireworks at police officers. Now, World Trade Organization Chief Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala was reappointed for a second term at a special meeting in Geneva on Friday. Okonjo, a former Nigerian finance minister who made history in 2021 by becoming the WTO's first female and first African Director General, announced in September that she would run again, aiming to complete unfinished business. No other candidates ran against her, and all of the WTO's 166 members agreed by consensus to a proposal to reappoint her. Okonjo-Iweala said she was looking forward to working with the incoming Donald Trump administration, that she saw common ground between them on areas like intellectual property rights.
I'm grateful to the membership for the election to a second term. We have a full agenda to deliver for the people of this world that we are here working for and for the planet. And we fully intend to get to work immediately, no stopping, to try and deliver on these results. I'm grateful for the honor of serving this organization, for the trust that the membership has put in me. Until we get specifics in terms of what is planned, I think it will be a bit premature to try to pronounce on these issues. We look forward to working with the administration. We are grateful to the administration we worked with now. We are looking forward to working with the new administration.
A landslide in eastern Uganda has killed at least 17 people, with rescue operations underway to try and find the 100 people who may be trapped in the deep mud that engulfed the area. The landslide occurred on Wednesday in Bulambuli district, about 300 kilometers east of the capital Kampala, and buried dozens of homes across several villages, with vast areas covered in deep mud where homes and schools once stood. Community members wailed over the remains of their recovered loved ones. The Ugandan government has directed citizens living in landslide-prone areas to relocate. The Red Cross and police are conducting a search and rescue operation. The East African nation has been hit by unusually heavy rainfall since October that has triggered widespread flooding and landslides in some areas. The recent heavy rains caused flooding in the northwest after a tributary of the Nile River burst its banks, prompting the Prime Minister's office to issue a disaster alert saying that main roads across the country had been cut off. Residents in southern Thailand were rescued from their flooded homes by members of the Thai army as severe flooding continues in southern Thailand. Flooding triggered by heavy rains have left 4 people dead and affected more than 240 thousands of households in southern Thailand. The military rescuers used boats to transport the flood victims through waist-high flood waters. Let's take a look at other stories making news around the world. On Black Friday frenzy, shoppers rushed to US malls for deals and deep discounts. Dozens of shops opened at 8 p.m. on Thursday to give customers the opportunity to hunt for bargains during Black Friday. Americans usually spend over $100 billion on the Friday after Thanksgiving. Toulouse's iconic Saint Sernin Basilica, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, has been fitted with a contemporary rose window, marking the culmination of the renovation work on this masterpiece of Romanesque architecture, ensuring that future generations can continue to admire this masterpiece of medieval architecture. Hundreds of cancer survivors gathered to paddle out in unison, finding strength and solace in the ancient sport of dragon boating. The move was a testament to the power of shared experiences and the healing that can come from connecting with others who understand the journey. An unpublished portrait of the poet Arthur Rimbaud, drawn by his lover Paul Verlaine, will be auctioned at Droot on 2nd December for an estimated price of between 100 to 200,000 euros. Still to come on this edition of DD India Live. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi to attend All India Conference of Director Generals, Inspector Generals of Police. And Premier League club Leicester City appoint Ruud van Nistelrooy as their new manager. Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Some more stories. Amidst protests continuing for the release of former ISKCON monk Chinmoy Krishnadas, who is under arrest in Bangladesh on charges of sedition, the Bangladeshi authorities have frozen his bank accounts along with bank accounts of 16 other people associated with the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Expressing deep concern at the situation, Government of India has asked Bangladeshi authorities to ensure the safety of minorities. Meanwhile, Bangladeshi High Court has rejected a petition to ban ISKCON, stating that the current situation does not warrant such a measure.
The Indian government has responded to the situation in Bangladesh. The Ministry of External Affairs on Friday expressed deep concern over the violence against Hindus and once again urged the Bangladeshi authorities to ensure the safety and security of minority communities.
The interim government must live up to its responsibility of protecting all minorities. We are concerned at the surge of extremist rhetoric, increasing incidents of violence and provocation. These developments cannot be dismissed only as media exaggerations.
Indian political leaders across the political spectrum have called for the protection of Hindus in Bangladesh. Protests in different parts of India, from Kolkata to Jammu, show solidarity with the Hindu minority and other minorities in Bangladesh. Massive protests were held in Kolkata, organized by the Hindu Jagran Manch, demanding the release of the Hindu monk Chinmoy Krishna Das. The protests will not die down. The BJP leader Suvendu Adhikari revealing plans for the next few days.
मैं भारत से ट्रू पैट्रियोटिक पीपल को अपील करूंगा राष्ट्रवादी
I appeal to all true nationalists. Boycott Bangladesh. Every day we have processions, Hindu processions. Tomorrow there will be 2 big processions, taking the flag with the slogan of Jai Shri Ram. It will be held in Jadavpur and in Prasar. On Monday we will have a big protest near Petropol, wherever we get permission.
ISKCON has always denied allegations that it was linked to violent protests, emphasizing its commitment to peaceful coexistence. The Bangladesh High Court rejected a petition to ban ISKCON, stating that the current situation does not warrant such a measure. The Indian government has vouched for the good character and service of ISKCON.
We see ISKCON as a globally well-regarded organization with a strong record of social service.
However, Bangladesh's Financial Intelligence Unit has ordered the freezing of bank accounts of 17 people associated with the International Society for Krishna Consciousness ISKCON Bangladesh, including its former leader Chinmoy Krishna Das Brahmachari.
We have a responsibility because we enable Bangladesh to be free and independent. Now, whatever the change of government has been in Bangladesh, it cannot be acceptable that religious minorities are persecuted in this way.
The incoming Trump administration in the US has commented on the situation in Bangladesh. Johnny Moore, a former advisor to President-elect Donald Trump, described the violence against minorities in Bangladesh as an existential threat and put the blame squarely on the interim head, Mohammed Yunus.
Well, I can tell you, if you're a religious minority in the country and you're wondering whether you're going to live tomorrow, it's a very, very big deal. And it is the first responsibility of any government to protect these people. Mohammed Yunus is failing. That's what's happening. And he better fix it right away.
The interim government of Bangladesh, led by Mohammed Yunus, is pursuing charges of crimes against humanity against former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina at the International Criminal Court. The pursuit of these charges is likely to further strain relations between India and Bangladesh. Hasina has been provided shelter in India. She has called for the immediate release of Chinmoy Krishna Das, who was arrested on charges of sedition. Bureau Report, DD India.
And India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi will attend the All India Conference of Director Generals and Inspector Generals of Police from 30th November to 1st December at Bhubaneswar in Odisha state. The conference will include deliberations on critical components of national security, including counter-terrorism, left-wing extremism, new criminal laws and narcotics. The President's Police Medal for Distinguished Service will be awarded during the conference. The conference will also be attended by Union Home Minister Amit Shah. As Cyclone Fengal intensifies over the Bay of Bengal and heads towards landfall near Puducherry, Tamil Nadu authorities have issued urgent advisories and implemented key safety measures. Cyclone Fengal is predicted to make landfall on Saturday afternoon with winds potentially reaching speeds of up to 90 km per hour. India's weather department predicts that the cyclonic storm will move west-northwestwards and cross North Tamil Nadu Puducherry coast close to Puducherry with a wind speed of 70 to 80 km per hour, gusting to 90 during the afternoon today. The approaching storm, which is expected to bring heavy rainfall and strong winds, has led the state government to close schools and colleges in several districts, halt public transport services. Cyclone Fengal, which intensified into a cyclonic storm on November 29, is predicted to make landfall between Karaikal and Mahabalipuram near Puducherry around midday. Now, 30th November marks 167th birth anniversary of Jagadish Chandra Bose, whose contributions in the field of science has left an everlasting impression. DD India's Priya Yadav reports.
There is absolutely no denying that polymath Jagadish Chandra Bose was really ahead of his time. His work laid the foundation for today's high-speed 5G internet nearly a century before it became reality. Jagadish Chandra Bose was a Bengali scientist, botanist, and a physicist. From plants to physics, Sir Bose showed the world that India had its own way of doing science. He was the founder of modern science in the Indian subcontinent. Bose Institute, that was set up in 1917 by Jagadish Chandra Bose, is Asia's first modern research center devoted to interdisciplinary research and bears a century-old tradition of research excellence.
Bose Institute continues to lead Indian science for the past 107 years, fulfilling the dreams of our founder director Acharya J.C. Bose.
Jagadish Chandra Bose made a remarkable discovery that found out that plants can move in response to stimuli. For his remarkable contributions in the field of science and technology, he was awarded with a number of honors, not just in India, but even outside of it. In 1903, British government made Bose a Companion of Order of the Indian Empire. In 1904, Bose became the first Asian who was awarded a US patent. In 1912, Bose was made a Companion of the Order of the Star of India. In 1917, Bose was knighted. In 1920, Bose became a Fellow of the Royal Society. He was the first Indian scientist to receive this honor in the field of physics. In 2012, the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers recognized Bose as the father of radio and wireless communication. On Sir Jagadish Chandra Bose's 167th birth anniversary, let's celebrate this global visionary whose contributions continue to impact every aspect of modern existence. Priya Yadav for DD India.
Let's now take a look at other stories making news today. Delhi Police has prohibited the use of drones and laser lights near IGI Airport until January 26, 2025. The ban covers the funnel area in the flight approach path to enhance safety. Violators will face action under the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita 2023. Union Textiles Minister Giriraj Singh attended a promotional event for Bharat Tex 2025 in Surat. The Global Textile Expo is scheduled at Bharat Mandapam, New Delhi from February 14 to 17, 2025. Chandigarh hosted the launch of Telemedicon 2024, emphasizing AI and virtual healthcare. Experts discussed telemedicine's role in health promotion, rural outreach and lifestyle management. Running until November 30th, the conference underscores AI's transformative impact on global healthcare. Yamuna Vatika, set to become Delhi's largest green space, spans 450 acres of vibrant gardens and flower fields. Under LGV K Saxena's leadership, the DDA is creating a unique triple-layered floral design. This eco-friendly initiative aims to enhance Delhi's aesthetic and ecological value. In sports, Indian chess grandmaster Gukesh will take on China's reigning world champion Ding Liren in the Game 5 of FIDE World Chess Championship on Saturday afternoon. Earlier on Friday, Gukesh held Liren to a draw in Game 4 of the championship. The game ended in draw after 42 moves as Gukesh, playing with black pieces, overcame a shaky initial phase in Singapore. The World Championship match is tied at 2-2 after 4 games. The first player to reach 7.5 points over 14 games will win the prestigious title. Now, the International Cricket Council's Executive Board could not achieve a consensus with the Pakistan Cricket Board on the much-awaited Champions Trophy schedule. The board will reconvene and work towards a positive resolution of the multi-nation event, which was originally scheduled to take place in Pakistan from February to March next year. The Board of Control for Cricket in India had already conveyed to ICC about its decision of not travelling to Pakistan nor for the cricket tournament. The Indian Cricket Board is understood to have asked for a hybrid model for the tournament where they play their games in UAE. Pakistan, however, have stuck to their stance and insisted that the entire tournament be played in their country. Now, Premier League club Leicester City have appointed Ruud van Nistelrooy as their new manager to replace Steve Cooper on a contract until June 2027. Cooper was sacked with Leicester hovering 2 points above the relegation zone, and the club moved quickly to appoint Van Nistelrooy. The Dutchman was assistant manager at the Manchester United and took interim charge when Erik ten Hag was sacked last month before Ruben Amorim took over. And Christmas lights lit up and streets and buildings in Barcelona, kicking off the festive season. Local resident Luisa Pedraza described the switching on of the lights as opening Christmas. And India's public broadcaster Prasar Bharati has recently launched Waves, entering the field of OTT platform. Waves provides a complete infotainment ecosystem to digital media and OTT audiences. If you also want great content for free, then download Waves today. All right, that's all we have in this edition of DD India Live. You stay tuned for more news and updates.